What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman here for Stokastic.com, kicking off NFL Showdown season with my NFL contenders on DraftKings for Thursday Night Football, the Los Angeles Rams and the Buffalo Bills. Now be sure to hit that like button. That is the most important thing for me. Subscribe to the channel. That's also the most important thing for me. Co-most important. Like, subscribe, notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. Maybe get some updates later tonight if anything major changes. And finally, I gotta have you guys check out Prize Picks, the presenting sponsor of this video. If you click the link in the description of this video, and you can see what's going on the banners on the screen. If you click that link in the description, you can get up to $100 on your first deposit. Now, if you only have 25 bucks to put in, they'll match with 25. But if you have 100, they will match with 100. You don't need an optimizer here, no sharks or anything like that. You're picking over-unders on player props. And we've got plenty of content at Stokastic.com, including videos on our YouTube channels that I think will help you out a ton. But now, without further ado, the bottom five of my contenders for today: Tyler Higbee, Devin Singletary, Tyler Bass, Isaiah McKenzie, Gabe Davis round out the bottom of my top 10. Who will be my favorites? My top 5 plays for today? It is time to find out. In first at number 5, we've got Allen Robinson. He is 6,200. Very interesting price tier for this slate. This was a range that was usually dead for me last year. A little bit different this season. So 6,200 for Allen Robinson. I got him projected for 14.3 fantasy points. They are 2.5-point underdogs. 52-point game total. So this is likely going to be a day where we see a lot more offense, depending on which site you're playing on. You're not going to get a lot of kicker defense conversation, at least not in my eyes. That doesn't matter all that much for us right now. 13% likelihood that Allen Robinson scores more than 30 fantasy points. A 55% chance, however, that he scores less than 10 fantasy points. I have him as the optimal captain 9% of the time. I have him optimal in the utility spot 38% of the time. Grand total there. 47% likelihood Allen Robinson is in the optimal lineup. And that basically lines up with his current ownership. I don't have a lot to add. In the non-Cooper Kupp division of Rams receivers, you're not going to have much of an issue getting to Robinson here. And again, it's close to a coin flip. 50%, basically 50% of the time, Allen Robinson is either in or out of the optimal. That's a tough set, but when the ownership is neutral, I think you just gotta play him where he fits, ignore him where he doesn't, and go about your business. Not a lot of interesting stuff to say about Allen Robinson for today. Now we can start talking about the big guns. In at number 4, we're going quarterback here, Matt Stafford, 10,800. So you guys know what you're paying for there. Projected for 19.6 fantasy points. Again, 2.5-point dogs, big time total. You're expecting Stafford to sling it around. 23% likelihood that he goes north of 30. Obviously, that's what you're looking for here. 8% chance that he goes less than 10. That is a disastrous start for Matt Stafford if it happens. 9% likely at the captain, 46% likely at utility. And again, this is basically right in line with the public exposure right now. So I don't really have much to add. Obviously, you're going to be going to Stafford pretty regularly if you're playing multiple lineups. You're trying to pair him up with other pass catchers. I get it. We're going to talk about another one in the future. But for right now, Stafford is slightly more frequent than a coin flip, 54% likelihood to be in the optimal, and that's what I'm looking for here. But right now, I don't have a lean either way. I expect to have something in the neighborhood of 55% Matt Stafford. I see different places that I can get above and below the field. Stafford isn't one of them. Now, based on our current ownership projections, this is where I expect to be over the field. That would be Cooper Kupp in at number 3, 12,400. Man, that is a healthy price tag, but it should be given his stats coming from last year. Basically projected for 22 fantasy points. Again, you're expecting them to sling it around. 57% chance that Cooper Kupp goes for north of 30. You're probably going to need him in that case. 11% chance, though, that it goes for under 10. Not exciting in those spots. 1 out of every 10 times you're going to do it. So maybe like once or twice a year. Keep your eye on that. 20% chance Cooper Kupp is your optimal captain for today. 36% likelihood that he's optimal at utility. 55% in the aggregate. Ignore the rounding there. I know it adds up to 56 on the right side of the screen. That's not what we're talking about here. What I am talking about is this. He's slightly less owned than this. A little bit under on the captain spot. I definitely like him there as a pay up to be slightly more contrarian. Look, don't get me wrong. He's still 14% owned at the captain spot, but I like him a little bit more there. I like him a little bit less at the utility, but in the aggregate, I'm happy to get to Cooper Kupp. I just think the ownership is off a bit. I like him a little bit more in the captain spot. I'll try to get different elsewhere. In at number 2, we've got 9K Stefon Diggs, projected for 19 fantasy points. Now we finally get to talk about the Bills, 2.5-point favorites, 52-point total, 37.5-point likelihood that Diggs goes over 30, 22%, however, under 10. So big time range of outcomes for Stefon Diggs. 18% chance of being your optimal captain, 39% at utility. Again, most of our current ownership projections are in line with where my sims are spitting out, and that's neither good nor bad. I don't have much to glean from it. I will find my edge somewhere, but I do say this by a hair, 2%. I prefer Stefon Diggs to Cooper Kupp. The salary is hard to overcome. By going more of Diggs than Kupp, and honestly, you should be going to both of them pretty regularly, you can just make a more comfortable lineup with Stefon Diggs at 9K in comparison to Cooper Kupp at his salary. Kupp is just very expensive. You're going to need to take haircuts somewhere else in your lineup, whereas with Diggs, you'll probably feel a little bit better about that final guy that you put in your lineup. Either way, 57%, 55%, both north of the coin flip, both very similar. It shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that Diggs and Kupp look great. Before we get to that number 1 contender, one last reminder: like, subscribe, notification bell. You're going to hear that a lot from me this year. Get used to it. And then go sign up at Prize Picks. In the description of this video, you don't got to worry about a promo code any longer. Just click that link and sign up. When you do, you'll get up to $100 on that first deposit. Don't leave these deals in the dust, guys. When they go away, it's going to be a problem. Build your bankroll using the free money that you can get from spots like Prize Picks. As if there was ever any possible answer other than Josh Allen as my number 1 contender. 12K, keep that in mind with regards to Cooper Kupp's price. Projected for 25 fantasy points. The favorite in this one, primed for a big year, 61% likelihood of going north of 30, basically no chance to go under 10 barring injury, 19% likelihood of being the optimal captain, so actually slightly behind Cooper Kupp, but 54% at utility just because the floor is so high for Josh Allen. You get the run threat, you obviously get the passing threat. He is the guy that I want to go to the most. He is the guy that the public is going to the most, so be aware of what you're putting in your lineups, but at 73%, this one is not close. Josh Allen is your number 1 contender for today. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NFL DFS contenders for Showdown. Thursday night football on DraftKings. It's the Bills. It's the Rams. It's going to be a good one. Now, there's a FanDuel version of this video around here somewhere, so check it out. It's probably not up yet if you're watching this, let's say around like noon, 12:30. Had some bugs. We're working on getting that video out, but it is coming. You will be getting these videos Thursday night football, Sunday night football, and Monday night football for DraftKings and FanDuel every week of this NFL season. If you're looking for contenders, that's where you'll get them. If you have any questions, hit me up on Twitter at Josh Engleman or in our premium Discord where I will be tonight prior to the game. Watch all of the content we've got on the YouTube channel. Good luck tonight, everybody. I will talk to you guys again Sunday morning.